My beloved child, pause for one quiet moment, because what you are about to recognize has been surrounding you for longer than you realize. Most people look for blessings only after they arrive. Very few notice the silent preparation that happens before everything changes. What if the season you have been questioning is not a delay at all? What if it is the hidden doorway to something greater than your imagination has dared to expect? Stay with this thought, because by the end of this journey, you may begin to see your life through completely different eyes. There are moments when nothing seems to move. The days feel ordinary. The answers appear distant. Even your own heart wonders whether anything meaningful is happening behind the scenes. Yet history has shown that the greatest transformations often begin in complete silence. A seed does not announce that it is growing beneath the soil. A sunrise does not ask permission before filling the sky with light. In the same way, the greatest blessings often begin long before anyone can see them. Today, you are about to discover the first of 7 powerful signs that your life may be entering a completely new chapter. These are not guarantees or secret predictions. They are reflections, moments that many people experience when they are growing through change, strengthening their character, and becoming ready for greater opportunities. Listen closely. One of these signs may already be unfolding in your life without you even noticing. The first sign is this. The things that once satisfied you no longer feel enough. At first, this feeling can be confusing. You wake up, follow the same routines, speak with the same people, and chase the same goals, yet something deep inside quietly whispers, there is more. That whisper is not always about wanting bigger possessions or greater success. Sometimes it is simply the growing realization that your purpose is larger than your comfort zone. Notice how this happens. The conversations that once entertained you begin to feel empty. The habits that once consumed your attention lose their excitement. Even certain fears begin to lose their power over you. It is as if your inner world is gently expanding, creating space for something your current life cannot yet fully contain. Many people mistake this feeling for dissatisfaction. They assume something is wrong because life suddenly feels unfamiliar. But what if this restlessness is not a problem to solve? What if it is an invitation to grow? Every meaningful journey begins with a moment when the old version of life can no longer hold the new version of you. Think about that for a moment. If nothing inside you ever changed, nothing outside you would have a reason to change either. Growth often begins quietly. It asks questions before it provides answers. It stretches your thinking before it changes your circumstances. Perhaps that is exactly where you are today. You may have been wondering why your heart keeps reaching towards something you cannot fully describe. Why ordinary goals no longer bring lasting excitement. Why your vision seems larger than your current reality. Do not rush away from that feeling. Stay a little longer. Some of life's greatest opportunities first appear as unanswered questions. Imagine standing at the edge of a mountain before sunrise. The landscape still looks dark, and you cannot yet see the valleys below. If you judged the day by that single moment, you might believe the light was never coming. Yet beyond the horizon, the sun is already rising. You simply cannot see it yet. Preparation often feels exactly like that. Invisible. Patient. Quiet. Powerful. This first sign is not asking you to fear change. It is inviting you to welcome it. Because every larger blessing requires a larger perspective. Every greater opportunity asks for greater wisdom. Every new chapter begins with an inner transformation before an outward breakthrough. So if your heart has been pulling you towards something higher, if your dreams have begun growing beyond yesterday's limits, if you feel an unexpected desire to become stronger, wiser, kinder, and more courageous, do not ignore those quiet signals. They may be evidence that your future is gently calling your name. But this is only the beginning. The next sign is even more surprising because it often appears disguised as something people try to avoid. Most walk away from it without realizing they have stepped away from an incredible opportunity. You will understand exactly what that means as this journey continues. Before you decide what this season truly means, stay with me for just a little longer. The next sign surprises almost everyone because it rarely looks like progress in the moment. It often arrives wearing the clothes of uncertainty. Yet later, when you look back, you realize it was quietly making room for something far greater. The second sign is this. Certain doors begin to close, even when you wanted them to stay open. At first, this feels disappointing. You make careful plans. You give your best effort. You hope a particular opportunity will become the answer you've been waiting for. But somehow, things don't unfold the way you expected. It is natural to ask, why? But what if the better question is, what am I being prepared for instead? Sometimes life removes what is familiar because your future cannot fit inside your past. Think about an artist preparing a masterpiece. Before adding fresh colors, the old canvas must first be cleaned. Before a stronger building can stand, weak foundations are replaced. Change often begins with subtraction before it becomes multiplication. Many people stop here because they mistake a closed door for the end of their story. Yet every meaningful journey includes moments that redirect rather than reject. Maybe a conversation ended. Maybe an opportunity disappeared. Maybe a path you expected to follow suddenly became impossible. Instead of asking whether everything is falling apart, consider another possibility. Could everything actually be falling into place? That single shift in perspective changes everything. Because what leaves your life also creates space. Space for wisdom. Space for stronger relationships. Space for better opportunities. Space for the person you are becoming. Don't rush past this moment. The greatest blessings are often built inside seasons that make the least sense while you're living through them. Picture a sculptor standing before a massive block of stone. To someone watching from a distance, it looks like destruction. Pieces keep falling away. Dust fills the air. The shape seems smaller with every strike. But the sculptor isn't destroying the masterpiece. The sculptor is revealing it. Perhaps this season is doing something similar within you. Perhaps what feels like loss is actually preparation. Perhaps what feels uncertain today will become the very reason you stand stronger tomorrow. And here comes the third sign. You begin to notice a growing hunger for peace instead of constant approval. There was a time when every opinion could shake your confidence. Every criticism stayed with you. Every comparison stole a little of your joy. But slowly, almost without realizing it, something changes. You start valuing inner peace more than outside applause. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to everyone. Your confidence becomes quieter, but stronger. Your decisions become calmer, but wiser. That is not weakness. That is maturity. A bigger blessing often requires a steadier heart. Because when greater opportunities arrive, they also bring greater responsibility. Only a peaceful mind can recognize the right moment without being distracted by every passing opinion. If these words have encouraged you so far, and you believe someone else may need this message today, feel free to share it with them. And if one of these signs speaks directly to your own journey, I'd love to hear which one in the comments. If you'd like to continue exploring messages like this together, you're always welcome to subscribe and be part of this growing community. But don't leave just yet. The next sign may be the one you've been waiting for all along. It reveals why some of your greatest moments of preparation happen when it feels like nothing is changing at all. That quiet season may hold a secret more powerful than you ever imagined. Take one more step with me, because the next sign is so quiet that many people overlook it completely. They keep searching for dramatic moments while missing the gentle transformation already happening within them. But what if the greatest preparation is taking place where no one else can see it? What if your biggest blessing is being shaped long before it ever appears? The fourth sign is this. You are becoming stronger in ways that cannot be measured from the outside. Not every victory comes with applause. Not every breakthrough makes headlines. Some of the most important changes happen deep within your character. You notice that you recover from disappointment a little faster than before. You face uncertainty with a little more courage. You pause before reacting. You choose wisdom over impulse. You forgive more easily. You protect your peace more carefully. At first, these changes seem small. Almost invisible. But never underestimate the power of quiet growth. A mighty tree does not become strong during calm weather alone. Its deepest roots are formed while standing through powerful winds. In the same way, every challenge you've overcome has been adding strength that cannot be taken away. Pause for a second and think about the person you were a year ago. The fears that once controlled you. The doubts that once kept you awake. The obstacles that seemed impossible. Somehow, you are still here. Not because life became perfect, but because you became stronger. That strength is not accidental. It is preparation. Because a greater blessing requires a greater capacity to carry it with humility, patience, and wisdom. Now listen carefully, because the fifth sign often arrives when you least expect it. New ideas begin to find you. You suddenly feel inspired to learn, to create, to improve, to build something meaningful. It's almost as though your mind begins opening windows that were always there but remained unnoticed. An ordinary conversation gives you an extraordinary idea. A simple book teaches a life-changing lesson. A quiet walk fills your heart with unexpected clarity. These moments are easy to ignore. But they matter. Every remarkable journey begins with a single new perspective. A new thought becomes a new decision. A new decision becomes a new habit. A new habit becomes a new direction. And a new direction can completely change a life. Don't dismiss those quiet sparks of inspiration. Write them down. Reflect on them. Sometimes the smallest idea carries the seed of the biggest future. Then comes the sixth sign. Your patience begins replacing your need for immediate answers. This may be the hardest lesson of all. In a world that celebrates speed, you begin discovering the quiet strength of waiting with purpose. You realize that not every answer must arrive today. Not every opportunity needs to happen this week. Not every dream grows overnight. You stop measuring your journey against someone else's timeline. Instead, you focus on becoming ready for what lies ahead. And something remarkable happens. The pressure starts fading. The comparison starts disappearing. The anxiety slowly gives way to confidence. Because deep inside, you begin trusting that meaningful things are worth preparing for. Imagine an archer holding the bowstring. For a moment, everything moves backward. Yet that backward movement is exactly what creates the power to move forward farther than ever before. Perhaps this season has felt like that. Not because you're being held back, but because you're being positioned for greater momentum. And now, only one sign remains. It is the one that ties every other sign together. It is the sign that often arrives just before life opens a completely unexpected door. When you discover it, many of the moments that once confused you will finally begin to make sense. That final revelation is closer than you think. This is the moment we have been building toward from the very beginning, because the final sign is not louder than the others. It is simply clearer. When you recognize it, the pieces of your journey begin fitting together in a way they never did before. Stay with me until the final words, because this last sign has the power to change how you see every season of your life from this day forward. The seventh sign is this. You no longer define your future by your present circumstances. Something shifts inside you. Your hope becomes stronger than your fear. Your vision becomes greater than your limitations. Your purpose becomes louder than your excuses. The challenges around you may not disappear overnight, but they no longer have permission to decide where your story ends. That is a remarkable transformation. Because the greatest blessing is not simply receiving something new. It is becoming someone new. When your perspective changes, your choices begin to change. When your choices change, your direction changes. And when your direction changes, your future slowly begins to reflect the person you have become. Think about every sign we have discovered together. The quiet restlessness that invited you to grow. The closed doors that created room for better opportunities. The deep desire for lasting peace instead of temporary approval. The invisible strength built through difficult seasons. The fresh ideas that awaken new possibilities. The patience that taught you to trust the process. And now, A heart that refuses to let today's circumstances define tomorrow's possibilities. None of these moments happened by accident. Each one has been preparing you. Not through shortcuts. Not through instant success. But through steady growth that cannot be shaken by temporary setbacks. Imagine standing on a hill just before dawn. For hours, the landscape has been wrapped in darkness. Then, without warning, the horizon begins to glow. The sun does not appear because someone demanded it. It rises because the right moment has arrived. Life often unfolds in the same quiet way. There are seasons of planting. There are seasons of waiting. There are seasons of learning. And then, there are seasons of seeing everything you have been preparing for begin to unfold one step at a time. Perhaps that season is closer than you think. So keep learning. Keep growing. Keep choosing kindness when it is easier to become bitter. Keep choosing hope when uncertainty whispers louder than confidence. Keep becoming the person your future is waiting for. Because the greatest rewards are rarely given to those who simply wish for them. They are discovered by those who continue walking forward with courage, wisdom, and faith in the journey, even when they cannot yet see the entire path. If this message encouraged your heart today, consider sharing it with someone who may need these words right now. I'd also love to hear in the comments which of the 7 signs spoke to you the most. And if you'd like to continue these inspiring journeys together, you're always welcome to subscribe so we can meet again in the next message. Before we part, remember this one final thought. Your story is still being written. The chapter you are living today is not the conclusion. It is preparation. Preparation for greater wisdom. Preparation for deeper peace. Preparation for opportunities you cannot fully see yet. Walk into tomorrow with confidence. Not because you know every detail of what lies ahead, but because every step you take with purpose shapes the person you are becoming. And sometimes, the biggest blessing is not the moment you finally receive what you hoped for. It is realizing that, all along, life was quietly preparing you to become someone capable of receiving it with gratitude, humility, and joy. Until next time, keep your heart open, your mind curious, and your eyes lifted toward the possibilities that each new day brings. Your greatest chapter may not be behind you. It may be the one that is just beginning.